So guys, I woke up this morning and I thought that demo released, delivered all costs, and it looks somewhat interesting. So it just released on Steam. I give it a go, and I will say guys, I finished it this morning. It is absolute bedlam. It is a bit crazy. So anyone growing up in like the 80s or 90s will probably remember, we had a lot of arcade games that focused on just mayhem and just overall enjoyment. And to be fair, this is pretty much Madness on four wheels, but 1950s style. So it does harken back to those old style of games that we used to get. The best example I could probably come up with in my head is picture Crazy Taxi Chaos combined with, do you remember the old Micro Machines games that had the movement that was kind of very drifty and slidey? Yeah, well, combine that with, say, Red Faction Guerrilla Destruction, and boom, you've pretty much just got delivered all costs. So why was I kind of buzzing for it? Well, I wouldn't say I was buzzing for it, but as soon as I seen the game, it did instantly attract me. You can probably see it in the footage. It looks quite unique. It looks cool. But delivery games and destruction have always been somewhat enjoyable for me. I would say Crazy Taxi, playing that as a kid, I really did enjoy it. I first played it in my cousin's house, I think on a Dreamcast, way back in the early 2000s. It was just a really fun game, Crazy Taxi. If you played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It had really tight controls and it was just pure enjoyment, really, as sad as that sounds. Red Faction Guerrilla, that I just mentioned earlier, fantastic destruction if you remember. Even the Bad Company 2 games, the destruction there always appealed to me. It's actually strange that we don't get that in a lot more games nowadays. But the Micro Machines games, they never really clicked with me. You had that weird driving, those slippy, slidey toy cars. It always just pissed me off, to be honest. So jumping into deliver at all costs, you're Winston Green, a courier delivering pretty much the maddest cargo imaginable. Very interested, definitely in terms of the gameplay. It looked so unique. But did it actually hook me? Did it fulfill its mission? Well, let's chat. So the first thing that you'll notice is the Crazy Taxi Madness, and to be fair with here, it is proper special. The demo that you play does throw you into a few missions, which are quite unique in each one to be fair, but they're quite mental as well. There's one where you're like hauling a crate of fireworks, and they're acting like basically a live grenade, but you're also driving them to a destination, but every bump sends sparks absolutely fucking flying. And the graphics on display, by the way, while this is all happening, is actually fantastic. The character models aren't great, but in terms of the overall aesthetic vibe of it, especially with the fireworks, it does stand out. They are going off every bump that you hit. The fireworks are going absolutely mental. You're balancing pedestrians for some reason, attacking you, and also getting flat tires. And it's kind of a dance in terms of, okay, well, I need to make sure I can drive the vehicle, but also make sure I'm not getting beat to death. So it leans into kind of the chaoticness of it all. And you're just constantly hopping back and forth, jumping out of the car, fixing the wheels, driving the car, trying not to run over fireworks. And I dug that. I thought it was extremely fun. That part of the game really, and the missions, they do definitely have a bit of uniqueness to them. But then you kind of hit the driving itself, and I guess that's for me where it starts to stumble. That Micro Machines vibes. So you've got the isometric camera that kind of gives you the top-down toy box feel that you'll see it in the footage below. But it's like your kid, smashing fucking toy cars through a Lego village. The handling though, it's proper Micro Machines. It's slidey and it's got that slippy feel. And to me personally, that's a massive miss. Take the watermelon mission. You're basically trying to keep 60 rotten melons in your truck while blasting through a farmer's market. But every corner you're hitting sends melons flying, and I'm pissed off, and it's just mainly because of how it handles, not even that the type of mission that it is. I do love the idea of the game, but that Micro Machines kind of drift, it's too loose. I don't know, if it had gone full Crazy Taxi with proper third-person camera, that type of control, I think the game would have been really up my alley that way if it did have that style of driving. 100%. I thought it would be a much better game if it did have that. It's not all frustration because in terms of the physics system with the destruction, it's honestly very impressive. You literally can tear apart buildings, everything, and I do mean this, guys. Everything is destructible. You can just reduce everything to rubble. The physics engine, what the game has here, it's honestly, I would say it's very impressive. It's a love letter to that the glory days. Walls will fucking just tear apart and debris goes everywhere, and it's just so good to obliterate everything in sight. I really do enjoy that side. I wouldn't say it's as granular as the game Teardown if you've tried that, but for a driving game, it's very good. It's Demolition Dream, and a proper click with what I do like about the chaotic nature of these games. And now with an arcade style games such as this, you would assume story's going to take the backseat. And to be fair, I would have assumed so as well. But there are so many cutscenes. Like in a demo that lasts maybe 2 hours, a whole chunk of this is dedicated to story, which is very, very surprising actually. I didn't expect it, and it seems to be leaning into some mystery about the main character's past. So yeah, maybe the story's good. From what I gathered though, it just seemed like, okay, what's going on? Kind of just do the mission, please. To me, for a demo, put your best foot forward. I would have been rather in doing the missions, which were great, but yeah, it's very, very bizarre to have the story kind of at the forefront like this, but maybe it pans out. And to be fair, even in the demo, it was very short. It does seem to be a bit of customization going on. I did unlock a few things, such as a crane, which is quite cool, and doors that eject, but I didn't get to use them. So it seems to be that on the main game, when it fully releases, there's going to be a lot of customizability. And that should keep the game fresh, you know, in terms of its ideas. So while the destruction's got me grinning, and the story maybe has me a wee bit sour, the demo I would say isn't flawless. I love the idea, the sandbox delivery. It's special, it's unique, but I think the execution does need work. The Micro Machines handling and that isometric camera, probably where it didn't really hit for me. I'd much rather the third person view. I will say the world outside of missions, you can do some exploration, but it's a bit empty. The exploration is really just smashing crates for money or finding toolboxes. It's quite basic, but like I said, it could lean more into the upgradability of the vehicles. And there is side missions, but they seem to be a wee bit uninspired. There was one that was kind of referencing Tremors, which was quite cool. Yeah, I really need to give the full game a try to really see what's going to happen there. But there's also highways between maps, which really kills the momentum. I don't know why they just didn't have an open world. It doesn't seem like it's a game that couldn't achieve that in this day and age, but it really just kind of slows the momentum right down. But the missions here, like the ones I played, there was one you're delivering a huge marlin fish. Then there's one that you're fucking delivering balloons and the car's flying in the air. So I would be interested to see where they're going to go from there mission-wise and how they're going to expand on that. Alright, so to kind of wrap it up, what did I think? Overall, I thought it was okay. It was good. I think maybe the full game will be better. I don't see it being a game that's going to be absolutely praised beyond belief, but this day and age, I seem to kind of go against the grain, to be honest. If you're a fan of Crazy Taxi and you actually do like Micro Machines, I think you'll fucking love this game. If it leaned harder into that third-person vibe, it would have clicked with me. I would have thought, you know what, I'm all in. It's not perfect, like I mentioned. There's empty zones and then loading hitches, which it just dulls the vibe a bit. But the idea is fantastic. It's one that I could definitely have seen on Game Pass as a day one release. But what do you reckon? Have you guys picked up the demo? If you have, drop a comment and let me know what you thought. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys, and on to the next one soon.